This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
It's like a sore in the back of my throat, I told my wife. She was worried that my illness had hung around for 3 days, but I didn't know what the problem was. It wasn't as if I was making the kids sick. But they could get sick. James and I can't afford to take any time off work, she complained. Neither can I. Baby, a day at the health clinic is 8 hours. I don't get paid, I explained to her. If you get worse, you're not working at all, she yelled. But if I get worse, I can't afford the hospital without insurance anyway. I yelled back, and on we went through the night. Eventually, she wore me out and I accepted that I would need to see the doctor in the morning. I made sure I walked our youngest Henry to school first on my way. The bus trip would take me the better part of an hour, so I wanted to take my time with him, which was a luxury I didn't normally have. Normally, I'm at work by the time you take this walk. I explained to him on the way. So how come you're taking me now? He asked. Because I thought it would be nice to spend some time together, don't you? I asked. I guess, he said. He seemed down. I always thought of him as wise beyond his years. I wanted to know what was eating at him, but I know that if I really stopped and thought about it, it was because he had to go to school and just didn't want to go. He was a man of leisure, a bit like me. I didn't have the heart to tell him that the best years of his life would be these ones, because once you're all grown up, it's bills and it's broken hearts and it's taxes and eventually it's death. Just enjoy these years, kid, I said to him, hoping it would have an impact. It didn't. Why? He asked. Because you will miss them when you're older, I said. No, I won't, he said. Yeah, you will. There's nothing fun about being an adult. Bullshit. I clipped him behind the ears, and he started to cry in the middle of the street. I instantly regretted my decision, but I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, if my old man caught me uttering such a profanity on my way to school, or in any circumstance, well, I know that my fate would be much worse than a little clip behind the ear. I hugged him, and I kissed him, and I ruffled his hair, and explained to him the importance of keeping a civil tongue. Otherwise, you never know who might hear what you've said and what their reaction might be. He looked as if he understood what I meant, although it was hard to tell. We arrived at the gates to his school right on time to hear the bell ring. I gave him a final hug before he ran off. The bus stop was a block away from the school, and I managed to grab the 8:53 to downtown. I listened to my podcasts on the commute and heard the bus driver give a word to the passengers on board. The volume was up on my pods, so I didn't pay too much attention. Then I realized he meant for me to hear what he was telling me, so I pulled the plugs out. Seeker spotted downtown, he said to me as he looked at me through his rearview mirror. So? I said. Just so you know, he replied. Don't say I didn't warn you. I didn't care about seekers. I wasn't an immigrant. I was third generation. My grandfather was born and bred right here. I didn't need any papers to prove who I was, just because my skin color might give someone a different impression. Fuck that. My grandfather fought in the Great War. Not that one. The modern one. The one where the Chinese created that island in the middle of the contested waters and all these nations sent over their best and brightest to stop it from happening. The one that killed millions. Ain't that something? 2 years of college. And that's the best description I can come up with for the war that defined a generation, that I was privileged enough to have a family member fight in. No wonder we're broke. The driver pulled into the Memorial Mall where the clinic was, and I paid the tab and hopped off with my earphones still blaring. This time, I was listening to Splinter Cube when there was a pat on my shoulder. Identification, I heard a voice say before I came into contact with the 8-foot-tall sentient robot. A seeker programmed to weed out any undesirables. I'm a citizen, I said as I put the pods back into my ears. He placed his robot arm on my shoulder, preventing me from moving. Papers, it said. I told you, I'm a citizen, I yelled as I shoved the machine away from me and kept walking towards the clinic. Dumb robot, should have known better. They're supposed to obey me on command. Well, I must have triggered some sort of emergency response. I was surrounded. I counted 4 in my front field of vision, and I think there were another 5 behind me, completely surrounded. You have 5 seconds to show a valid government-issued identification to prove your birthplace citizenship, it said to me. Then it began to count. I never carried such a document. I never needed to. I was a citizen. 2. I patted my pockets. They were empty, save for my wallet. I removed it and began thumbing through the cards. 3. I pulled out my driver's license and threw it up to face the visor screen of the bot that was addressing me. That does not prove birthplace or citizenship, it said. 4. I threw my wallet on the floor. What the hell do you want from me? I told you I'm a citizen, I screamed. 5. I yelled loudly at the machines and swiveled my head so that my anger reached all of the godless units. Subject is non-compliant. Authorization of lethal force is activated. It said. That was the last thing I heard.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.